Hello everyone, welcome to VPower. In this video, we are going to see more about Azure Arc. This will be a quick overview. The video is not short, but it's a quick overview about a few of the two services which you will see more on how vCenter, which is in preview, and a VM is added and what all services we can consume. Let's quickly jump. So once you go to your Azure portal in Azure Arc, you can see there are multiple services. Under infrastructure, you can see you can add a server, you can even add a Kubernetes, you can add SQL. There are multiple services, right? So you can choose whatever is your need, and then you can see everything under your infrastructure, or you can add an infrastructure. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I am going to add a vCenter, which is in preview, but that we will do it later. But first of all, what we are going to do is we're just going to add a server. So once you click on generate script, we have to quickly specify if there is any resource group already, or you can have your own resource group for that particular Azure Arc services. Now select the region. I'm belonging from UAE North. This is a Windows operating system. You can choose whatever you want. It's gonna be a public connectivity since it's a test lab. If you're having express route or IPsec, you can use a private. Now the configuration is selected. Click next. Okay, I think I missed one information in basic. Resource group is updated. Next. So basically this is a script which you need to run on that particular Windows machine which you want to be a part of Arc, and since public endpoint you can use it directly. So just copy it. I'll quickly jump into my server. This is my server. Let me open ISC portal. It's not ISC, it's ISE. Yeah. So you paste the script, execute it, and then you can see all the prerequisite if there is any prerequisite requirements. So you can directly access it. You just need that agent to be installed on the server. Okay, let's execute the script. It will ask few questions now. Basically these questions will first of all is going to deploy and kind of an appliance, small appliance on your vCenter server, or if it is a vCenter. Now this is a Windows machine, does not require any appliance. It will be an agent which will be there. So first of all, it will ask you to log into your Azure portal. Once you log into your Azure portal, it will start installing that particular agent, and it is going to take some time. So we'll go to AppWiz and we will see that particular agent. Once the installation completes, it will be popping up. You can see Azure Connected Machine agent that is installed. So wait for a small while, and once this complete installation is done, you will get a particular URL which you can directly paste or you can see in your inventory. So this is a particular URL. Just copy it, jump, just paste it on your browser, login, and you can see your particular DC01 is my server name. And there are a lot of services like update, log analytics you can integrate inside. You can put your Azure policies, you can have Defender, you have Windows Admin Center as well. And if you are having a SQL install, you can even manage your SQL from Azure portal itself. Now with Admin Center, we can directly configure and set up the Admin Center. So once we click setup, we require to add certain kind of an RBAC roles. We have to make sure that this listening ports are there because it's a public, so it should be fine. Now we have to give permission so that this particular account can start managing Admin Center. So if you have a proper RBAC configured in your environment, or you can create a separate group who will be part of it. In my case, it is just a lab, so I'm just quickly going to give to my ID. Add role assignments. and we have to use a role called administrator admin center login. Yeah, I'll just add my IDs. Select, next, review and assign. Yeah. So once that is done and it is getting added, meanwhile we'll see something else. So there are policies. It's more like an Azure policy which you can apply and control. And there are machine configurations. So these are certain configurations which you want to keep it. And this configuration you can keep it consistent if you want to run, like you have certain scripts, you have certain standard that has been defined for your machines. You can keep it here. So you can configure one standard for everything. This is automation. If you want to run certain kind of a script, you can do that. Now coming down, you have some SQL configuration if you have a SQL server update. So if you want to update your OS to guest operating system to like latest patches or something like that, that is something which you can control. Now you have insights if you want to monitor your servers with respect to applications or any detailed monitoring you want to do. We can see from admin center as well. We will see it. So let's go to admin center. Yeah, looks like everything is done. Let's click on connect. Yes, so our Windows admin center is connecting. Put your OS username password. Make sure you have a service account, and whatever the privilege you are giving, it can do it. Now that being said, it has a lot of permission, guys, and you have to be very careful who is managing this. Now admin center can access your files, your installed software. As you can see, right, it give you a very detailed with utilization as well. And you can see a lot of services on the left, like certificate, devices, events. You have in network related stuff. You can run any PowerShell script. You can see file system details, local users. You can do a lot of stuff just from your Azure portal itself. So when you're applying Azure policy, you have to be very well versed that what policies are required, who's making what changes. You can see these are roles and features, so you can directly add some roles and features whatever you have or you want to. So suppose I want to install or remove, select that particular one, and then you will have an option to install or remove it if it is not there. Now storage, you can see all your disk. So I have 3 disks. You can see what is the status of it. And yeah. So services, what is the status of all the services that are running? You can see from here. You want to stop, restart, or do any task, you can do it. Again, security, I'm not going a deep dive in this video, but if you're having Defender or you want to configure Sentinel, that is something which you can definitely configure here. For this particular server, you want to do certain kind of a scanning, which was done. It carries all those information. Again, schedule task, you want to schedule certain task at a point of time, that you can do it from here itself. You can define any of the services. Already spoke about security. So real-time protection is off. It's something which is specific to my server. It's a demo lab one. Yeah. Now you can see all the devices, which is the most interesting thing was the file system, which I wanted to show you. You can download and upload any of the files. You can copy paste, you can move everything. So you have a full file system control as well. So that is the point I wanted to make, that whoever have an access to admin center, make sure that he has a right control and he knows what need to be done, right? So it has a lot of power inside it. So be very careful when setting up an RBAC for this particular service. Now this is pretty much about this Windows Admin Center. Quick glimpse. Yeah, so you can configure your Defender. I have not configured it because it is just 30-day trial, and I want to make a different video for my Defender services, and we can see our security score, what all the policies are there, what is applied, what is the status of it. You can have a complete insight for it. let's go back and try to configure our vCenter. So while configuring vCenter, I failed like couple of times and I learned a lot of things. Just to tell you that the first thing when you configure vCenter is your agent. Okay, it asks you where you want to install that particular appliance. A small appliance gets set it up. Again, I'm using a so let's first start with the setup. So give the name, put the resource group what you want to use, choose the location. Right now, just to tell you that setting up all these things are free. It does not charge you anything. Only once you start importing the logs and additional services, which is a part of your regular Defender charges and log analytics charges, that is what will come in. But Azure Arc, the configuration and importing the service is free of cost as we speak today. Now, once you fill all this information, you will get a script. Now, this script you need to run from somewhere you have an access to vCenter portal. So you need to run this particular command and then go to a server which has an access to your vCenter. In my case, it is the same vCenter, right? So we'll simply run this script. But there was one of the lesson learned that it does not work in ISC. You need to open PowerShell and directly execute this. You cannot run from ISC. So we'll directly execute it. So our workstation was not behind a proxy. So there were a lot of services since I have done like 2-3 attempts, and during the installation to understand the requirement, a lot of services were already installed. So it will ask you to log into your Azure portal, which I already did before. So it is going to take the same session cookies. Next. So it started the installation. It asked the vCenter. So these credential, what it is asking is to install an agent. So it took somewhere around 10 minutes to do a complete setup. So it install a few of the agents and it takes some time. So which has already been done. So as a part of this code, it uploads and image, and then using that image, it builds a VM, which you will see. So since they were already an existing file, I'll just override and create a new one. We'll specify now the vCenter after the deployment, which it will use to connect. vCenter username password. So it's still asking to deploy an appliance. So it is asking on which network you want to build, on which data store and ESXi you want to build. It is asking those details. So this is appliance IP address. You don't want to configure on the proxy. While we are waiting, it should not take much time, but it takes a while for, you can see in the background, right, the appliance, there is a template appliance which is getting created, and then the VM is getting deployed using that particular appliance image. So we are waiting for an VM to get an IP. I think a couple of more minutes. Yes. Now connectivity from the host, it will check. Now appliance status. So it's validating, then it will connect to our Azure. It takes some while. Now it's trying to connect. Yeah, and it's ready. Now it go through certain step of configuring the final steps of Azure Arc. So again, in a similar fashion of the VM, it also get connected. Now it is asking that appliance want to connect to your particular vCenter, which vCenter it is going to manage. So we'll provide that. Generally what happens is you have a control plane where you are putting all your management VMs, or you could say a management layer of vCenter. So you can deploy this there, and then you can manage the rest of your VMs where exactly it is deployed. Now username password, for my case it is a similar vCenter where I have all my VMs. Yes, that is correct. So guys, it takes little while, about 10 minutes. And after it is done, you will again get an URL. You can copy the same URL in your browser. But once you see, it will not be visible. It takes some time, to show in that inventory. Yeah. So you can see all your VM inventory. So when you basically see these VMs, this does not mean that it is a part of your Arc. You just see that this inventory have it. So you can check it, you can install or enable Arc on it. So using your VMware tool, it will make sure that the agents are getting installed. You can see all the services, you can do it. These are my complete, not much VMs, but yeah, this is what I have. And you can do multiple, like you can see your inventories, you can see your network, you can see the data store, what we have, right? So you can have a complete control and view from here itself. And you can enable Arc for whatever VM you need. And I'm sure you already know the use case of Arc, that if you have old operating system, you get like 2012, you get additional support from Microsoft. Once it is a part of an Arc, there are a few additional charges to it, but that's a bare minimum. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys.